Hi, my name is Samantha and welcome to today's video. Today's video is all about craft show displays. Let's get into it. The idea for today's video came from a comment. Someone was asking me about showing my displays off better and exactly how they function, what they're used for, where I bought them from, things like that. I love this. Thank you so much for the comment. I love providing videos for things that you guys are interested in. So if you ever have a question, please just ask it in the comments down below. I'm pretty much an open book and I'll answer most of anything that you'll ask. So that being said, let me show you all my displays, ones that I like, ones that I don't like, ones that I've been gifted, ones that have gotten from the thrift store, ones that are from Amazon, all over the place. Let me show you what I've got. Our first display is the one that I use for my reusable towels. I absolutely love this display. I've had it since my very first show. It was purchased new off Amazon. When I first started my craft store, I was on Etsy selling handmade cards. So this is actually a greeting card display rack. It has 4 levels, 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is collapsible. So, you know, these 2 poles up here go up, and how you set it up is you take the pole and you attach it on the bottom here. And it even has this on the front here where you could slide information in as to what it is that you are displaying. How I like to set it up, I put the supports down and then I have 2 supporting elements. One, I have this piece of foam board. So I had made this back year or 2 ago for my shows, and I ended up cutting it up and covering it in just contact paper, and this serves so that the top row of towels don't flop over. Then I have my pricing signage. So my signage tells you what the product is, a little bit about the product, the price, and then I have 3 QRs. I have shop online, which is my Etsy shop, follow on Instagram, or learn how to make it, which is YouTube. And this bottom section right here, I have this on all of my signage. If you want to learn more about how I made this, I have a whole video on how I made my signage. And this is just a frame from the Dollar Tree. So then I set this right in the middle. And then I go ahead and each row can hold 2 towels. So I will put 2 towels per section and fill it up. Once the display is loaded, I will go ahead and adjust. So for example, these are all blues right next to each other. So I will adjust them so it looks more, balanced. But this is how I set it up. You can see that it fits 2 on each row. So, or 2 per section is what I'm trying to say. 2 per section and 5 across, 3 full rows, so that's 15, and then 2 extra, so 17 towels. I could put more in the front here, but I don't want it to block the pricing sign. And then the rest of the towels, I just use bins. So of the whole bin I have right here, I used part of them in the display and then the other half in just this plain bin from Target. And again, the back gets all droopy, so I have some more of the foam pieces and I just stick it right in the back here. Sorry, it's hard to do with one hand. I just stick it in the back of the basket here, and it helps keep the back sturdy, and then people can just flick through and find the towel that it is that they want. One last thing on the towels is I have my little description here, and it's not on all of them. That's because at my last show I hadn't finished putting all the tags on them, and it has a QR to a specific towel video. So this is intended that if you gave it as a gift, it doesn't have a price on it, and the person may or may not know what it is and how to use it, and they can scan the code. Our next display in question is for the soap towel pouches. So this is how it comes. There are 3 shelves, and then it is collapsible. So these doors open. There's these shelves right here. And then this part of the shelf goes upwards, and these notches here just hook into the shelves. Much easier when you're doing this face on, and you just put the 3 shelves on. And this is the shelf. It is great for, verticalness on your shelf, on your table, as well as it's not that deep. So I can set up my display and have the jar openers along the front. So I like to put my coasters and soap towel pouches on this guy. Let me show you what I mean. Here is my container of soap towel pouches and coasters, as well as their signage. So their signage is set up in the same format, and it just sits behind them at the top. And look how perfectly that fits. Again, these are from the Dollar Tree. And then I need to flip this around to put it together, sorry. Here's what it looks like set up. I have the descriptions at the top, and then I have these soap towel pouches take up the majority of it. And I don't put them in a particular order other than not putting the blues next to each other, and then the reds and pinks, I just try and put them on a diagonal. The coasters, I'll put as many as fit nicely with still flippability, and then the rest I'll just put on a stack next to the display. And again, the front here is meant for jar openers. I also have a little hotel soap that I hook on the corner here as a display. If I can do this one-handed, I just use the elastic, flip it through, and then this serves as my display. I've used this soap for over a year now, and it's been really great because it's within plastic. The other soap I had, which was within like paper, started like oozing and leaking on stuff, so that wasn't great. And that is what my coaster and soap towel pouch display looks like. Let's move on to the next one. Our next display is for jar openers. So this guy comes in 3 pieces. So 1, 2, 3, and he is actually a like a snack chip bag display. This again was ordered off of Amazon. So the clips go downwards. These 2 pieces connect into each other. And then these 2 pieces connect into the base, creating a tabletop 2-sided display. I do wish this rotated, but that's okay. I use this on the corner of my table because I pay for a corner booth. So where my tables make a V, I put this on the corner. And then for jar openers, I also have a sign. I use this sign with an easel, like a little Dollar Tree easel. And then they have jars. I have 3 jars that I put along the table. And it says, take my top off, use the jar opener. And people will sit there and use the jar openers and take the tops off. And these go around the table. So this chip rack display, what I'll do is I will alternate. Normally it's not the same pattern back to back, but I'm just showing you guys for example. So I'll start at the bottom and I will just clip one facing forward and then one facing the other direction, all the way up on both sides. This display is not great for selling off of. I do worry about people like ripping the jar openers off of them. So I put the less desirable jar openers on here. It is more meant as verticality on my booth and to draw people in to notice, hey, these are jar openers. Because when I have them sprawled out on the table, I put them like this around the table all the way around. People will be like, oh, those are nice coasters. No, they're actually jar openers. Coasters are over here. I say that constantly throughout the show. So that is how I display the jar openers. All 3 of the black metal displays are stored in this large container store bag. I do worry about the clips breaking off on the jar opener display, but I'm very gentle with this bag and I always put it on top of everything in the car. But this is a great bag. Unfortunately, it is starting to rip after 2 years of shows. So hopefully it can last me a little longer, or I might need to make a trip to the container store to buy a new bag. Bummer. The next item are my freebies. Sometimes I will just lay these guys out on the table. Sometimes I will put them in a bin. My Dollar Tree gold metal bins are in those boxes down there. I don't really feel like digging them out just for this video, so sorry, I'll just show a picture of them. These containers are fantastic. These are actually non-dipper containers from Costco. I have a bunch of them and they have lids. Non-dippers are just like little pieces of non, and then I clean this out with soap and water. So perfectly great container. Store things in it and put the lid on. Anyway, so these freebies are products that I messed up, or there is, you know, a rip in the fabric or something, and then I have my little sign here that says free gift if you do two things. You have to subscribe and follow me, and I ask to see people's phones when they do this. Granted, they could walk away and unsubscribe or unfollow, but it's worth a shot. These things would get thrown away anyways, so it's nice to have a little basket. I keep it a little closer to myself. Sometimes I'll have kids throughout the show be like, oh, mommy, I want one, this and that, or I'm not super strict on this. I'll give a kid a scrunchie or something. It's not the end of the world. Like I said, this is trash product anyways because there's something wrong with it. It still functions. It's just not, the pattern's upside down, or it's missing a stitch, or, you know, it's missing a corner or something like that, but it will still function in the way that it's meant to be. This is my next display for key fobs and scrunchies. These take a good minute to set up. They are very nice quality. However, I have found, I don't know if it's this one or the other one, I have two, that they are becoming bent. Even though I put everything back in its packaging when I put it away and try and keep it nice, it just, I don't know, they're starting to get bent. And it's hard for me to do this by myself because you have to tighten a nut on it so that the level doesn't fall down. So I always have to have my boyfriend be there to tighten it, or I have to ask some random person to help me tighten it. But I don't want to tighten it with like a wrench or something and make it too tight where I can't get it off to put it away at the end of the show, because I don't want this giant display having to take up all that space in my car or poke my eye out or something. So let me show you how to put this together. Here are all the pieces. So there's two spinny holder things, two little nuts to hold them on, the pole, and then the base. So you have to unscrew this nut here and screw this into the base, flip it over, and put the nut on. That's the first step. Now that we've got the base screwed on, the next thing is to loosen this bolt here, pull this pole out, and add the two rings. So we're going to put this on first, then the nut, then this one on, and then the other nut. Now that we've got rack nut, then we need to put these whatever distance apart from each other and tighten the bottom nut. For the bottom one here, you do have to leave enough space where then you can take this and put it into the base. And now we have the hanging rack. And like I said, you could do whatever distance, or you could just do one or do both. So this can hold then the scrunchies or the key fobs. Key fobs I have sorted in these Amazon Ziploc like reusable bags with whatever the stitch name is. I have 6 different stitches. I'm only pulling out 2 for the example here. And then I just go ahead and I take these and I hang them on by the loop. So this takes absolutely forever to stock. Scrunchies have this little piece of paper that has a hanging, and how I got a black staple to hold it is I took the thing of staples and I colored it with a Sharpie before I stapled them together, and then these can just be hung on like that. I also have this glass jar that has an S on it for scrunchies, Samantha, so sustainable, whatever word you want, and it holds all of the excess scrunchies. I have both these scrunchies and the key fobs in these reusable bags that I've gotten from shows. And then I also have these Dollar Tree containers, which I have 10 scrunchies, and I have like a sign that says, you know, it's a deal to get all the 10 scrunchies, and you can swap out whatever scrunchies you want in this basket. And then the glass jar goes right there. This display is definitely fabulous. It holds so much stuff. It's just these scrunchies and the key fobs, they do not sell enough to justify how difficult it is to put this together and the space it takes up. It takes so long during setup to do this display, and it's not worth it for me. This is the next display that I use. This holds pieces of paper, and I like to make a little piece of paper that says thank you. It has that, again, same image with the 3 QRs. I have that as an image saved so I can reuse it. So I'll say thank you, and then I'll write the shows that I'll be at next. This is especially helpful during the wintertime when there's a bunch of shows, so I can just hand it out to people. And it allows me to keep my business cards. I just print these pieces of paper myself, and then I, give them as a thank you to people when they've bought something, or someone, wants to shop online or something like that. But this display, I do believe that I got it, can't remember if I bought it off Amazon or if I got it at a thrift store. I know my intention with this was to put greeting cards in it, and it did not fit. The dimensions were not what I thought it was. So I had to find alternative use for this. This bowl is something that I got at the thrift store. It's just like a really wide, I don't know the right word, like plastic bin. And I used this my first couple shows for jar openers. I would just display them in a circle. Let me show you real quick how I did that. And it doesn't matter that this is like a Christmas theme because you're not even gonna see it. So I take the jar openers. I have a container's worth of jar openers. I'm just gonna place them in here so the tags are all facing the same way, and just kind of gently spin it around. The other stack. Okay, maybe not a whole container's worth. Maybe we'll just do half a container's worth. Yeah, okay. And you just kind of spin it in a circle. Let's see here. It's a little fiddly, and people will mess it up in like 30 seconds. It's not perfect, but this is pretty much the idea. And then the jar actually fits right in the middle. So this is how I will display sometimes if I have like a lot of jar openers, or when I first started, because I like to put the jar openers all around the edge now. It's kind of like the same concept as grocery stores. You know how they make you walk through the whole store for eggs, milk, and bread, how they're on way opposite ends. So my jar openers are my most popular product. Therefore, I spread it across my entire table, so you're forced to look at everything on my table. It's on purpose. So that is the idea behind that. I don't really use this bowl that much because I don't really like it. And it's, like I said, it's really frustrating at shows because people will mess it up in 2 seconds. So you go through all this effort to make it look pretty, and it's not pretty in no time, and then people can't see all the patterns underneath. It just, it's fiddly, but it was like $1 or something at the thrift store, so not that big of an investment. Last 3 items. So the reusable towels, I also have a towel display. So this is from the Dollar Tree, and then this is an old Cricut roll for vinyl because it's more sturdy than a regular paper towel roll. And then I just, swap out my display towels. Most shows, actually, recently, I've had someone buy the display one, and I just tell them, yeah, I mean, you're welcome to buy it. I don't have any pretty packaging for it, and then I'll just slide the whole thing off and sell it to them. And then the next thing is weights. Sometimes if you're somewhere windy, you need weights for your displays. I made these guys with just leftover fabric, and I sewed 4 sides and left an opening and filled it up with rice. These are not exact by any means, but I use them, either put them inside of baskets or, put them on the legs of stuff to give weight for outside shows. I've done them in white so that they don't distract from my display. The last item of discussion would be my sign holder. I will just insert a video now of the sign holder. I absolutely love it. I do need to order a new banner, which is something I am very frustrated and disappointed in Costco. Costco recently changed their printing services. If you don't know, they took out all of the photo services in the stores. And then just recently this year, they moved to Shutterfly. So Costco does not have any printing services. Therefore, I cannot reorder the same sign that I showed you guys in my banner video, even though I absolutely loved it and I think it's the most fantastic banner that I've bought anywhere. So now I have to go to Office Max or Staples or somewhere else to order a banner. If you have any banner suggestions, please leave them in the comments down below. I want it to be at least 8 feet long because it's the backdrop of my booth. My current banner is 8 foot by 4 foot and I absolutely love it. I think it's perfect. So that is what size banner I'm looking for, and I'm not looking to spend $100. So drop your suggestions in the comments down below and let me know what you think of the displays. Were there displays that you liked, didn't like? What are your displays? What do you use them for? Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful day.